Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with the mayor of the city, Mayor Mike Spano. To my left and to my right is our board president, the Reverend Steve Lopez. We are here with a message for our parents, our students, and our community. In light of the governor's state of emergency and the state of emergency declared by County Executive George Latimer, all Yonkers Public Schools will remain closed until Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. Schools are expected to reopen on Wednesday, April 1st, with the understanding that schools may have to remain closed beyond March 31st. This Wednesday and Thursday, our administrators and teachers will be in schools on a rotating basis for the purpose of professional development, as well as expanding our electronic learning protocols for our students, distribution of school-based instructional materials for students who may not have access to technology, and for our staff to collect some personal belongings. Effective Thursday, March 19, 2020, all school buildings will be closed with the exception of 10 schools that will offer grab-and-go breakfast and lunch from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. to Yonkers students. The sites for grab-and-go breakfast are the Enrico Fermi School, which is at 27 Poplar Street, the Eugenio Maria de Hostos Micro Society School, which is at 75 Morris Street, the Martin Luther King Jr. Academy, which is 135 Locust Hill Street, Roosevelt High School, which is at 631 Tuckahoe Road, Scholastic Academy for Academic Excellence, which is at 77 Park Hill Avenue, School 5, which is at 118 Lockwood Avenue, School 13, which is at 195 McLean Avenue, Thomas Cornell Academy, 15 Mary Street, Yonkers Montessori Academy, which is 160 Woodlawn Avenue, and Yonkers Middle High School, which is at 150 Rockland Avenue. So let me clarify that. Effective this Wednesday and Thursday, our administrators and staff will be in schools on a rotating basis from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. for the purpose of providing additional professional development and preparing for electronic learning for our students. And then on Thursday, we will also begin the grab-and-go breakfast. But effective Friday, March 20th, all of our buildings, with the exception of those where grab-and-go breakfast will take place, will be closed. Currently, the district is working with our child care providers to offer child care to our residents who are healthcare providers or first responders. We hope to have 3 sites available by the end of the week. Unfortunately, I must report that I was notified today that an individual at one of our schools tested positive for COVID-19. Under the direction of the Westchester County Health Department, we will notify the staff, the students, and families of that school. This school will be closed effective today for disinfecting and cleaning. At this time, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our mayor, our board of trustees, our administrators, teachers, civil service employees, students, and parents for their patience and understanding as we deal with this crisis. And to the leaders of the bargaining units, thank you for working collaboratively through this very difficult situation. Finally, as a reminder, let us practice good hygiene habits, let us take care of our neighbors, our elderly, and let us support each other. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to the mayor of the city, Mayor Mike Spano, who has some remarks for you.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Education. Let me start by saying thank you, because we all know how difficult this has been. This is uncharted waters. It's nothing that any of us have ever experienced before in our lives, and we're kind of writing the chapters of this book as we go along. But we are prepared, and I want to start by saying that we're prepared because we have solid people in positions who know what they're doing. Our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Casada, who I speak to more regularly than my own wife these days. But he is very much in control, very much taking care of what he needs to take care of. And it's very unfortunate that we had that one case. We've been pretty fortunate up till today because we've had no cases that involved schools. And we have a president of the Board of Education, C. Lopez, the trustees, the support staff, the teachers, the people who work in conjunction with City Hall and the Board of Education. Everyone working together in unison. Some of us are working from home, some of us are working in different locations. Some of us are doing different jobs. But we all know that in this time of crisis that we all have a place. We all have a job to do, and that seems to be the focus of everyone, whether it be a member of the bargaining unit, member of the Board of Education, member of the city itself. Everyone is collectively working and doing the right thing. Our first responders are doing super well. The police department's a full complement, the fire department's a full complement, ESU and Empress Ambulance Services all are doing and operating at 100%. That's what the people should expect. And so we will all get through this, and there'll be decisions that will come down upon us from the federal government, the state government, and we'll make do with those decisions as they get here. But know that your city has good, solid people. We've been here before in other crises, and so none of us are spending our first time at the rodeo. So just keep the faith and keep your hands clean and keep good social distancing. All right, thank you. I'll turn it back to the superintendent.
Thank you. At this time, I want to turn it over to the board president, Reverend Steve Lopez.
Thank you, Dr. Casada, and on behalf of the trustees of the Board of Education, once again, thanks to the mayor, all the commissioners, Dr. Casada, the administrators, and the bargaining units for the cooperative effort that's moved forward. We've had a lot of conversations over the past few weeks, more than I care to have, but I can say that these conversations were not taken lightly. In every single conversation, there were three things that we looked at. What's best for our kids, what's best for the families, and what's best for the staff. So, and our kids were talking about the families as well. Those three items were a priority in every single decision up until now, and will be a priority moving forward. With that said, there may be some changes to the stated meeting this week. I have to review the governor's proposals and orders that came down in guidance today. And in the event there are any changes, we will have a stated meeting. But in the event there are any changes, we'll let you know as soon as they are made. With that, thank you. Keep us all in prayer. We're Yonkers. We're resilient. We're fighters. We've been through more than this, so we will overcome. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor Spano, and thank you, Reverend Lopez. So once again, schools will be closed until March 31st, with the understanding that schools may have to remain closed beyond March 31st. And once again, I want to reinforce the message. We want to take care of our children. We will do our very best to ensure that breakfast and lunch is provided. We are ready to go, effective Thursday. So families, we will send you additional information so that our children who may need food are taken care. The sites that are listed will be on our website and on our social media as well. Y ahora un pequeño mensaje en español para nuestras familias, padres, familias, comunidad. Lamentablemente tenemos que informarle que las escuelas van a estar cerradas hasta el 31 de marzo. Esperamos poder abrir nuestras escuelas el 1 de marzo, pero por favor entiendan que tal vez tengamos que extender esta fecha. También quiero decir a las familias que comenzando este jueves 19 de marzo vamos a proveer desayuno y almuerzo de 8:30 a 11:30 en 10 diferentes lugares. Uno de los lugares es Enrico Fermi, el otro es Eugenio María de Hostos, la otra escuela es la escuela Martin Luther King, en la escuela Roosevelt High School, en la escuela Scholastic Academy, en la escuela 5, en la escuela 13, en la escuela Thomas Cornell, en la escuela Yonkers Montessori Academy, además que en la escuela Yonkers Middle High School. So, familias, si usted necesita desayuno o almuerzo para su hijo, por favor, pasen por uno de estos lugares. No queremos que ningún niño pase hambre. Además, quiero decirle que nuestro programa de instrucción en línea va a comenzar este miércoles. Este miércoles vamos a proveer instrucciones en líneas y además ustedes pueden pasar por las escuelas el miércoles o el jueves para recibir copias de instrucción adicional. So finally, once again, families, be reminded that we want to make sure that our children are having breakfast and lunch, so please pass by one of those sites. As indicated, electronic learning will begin this Thursday. Our teachers will either be in at work on either Wednesday or Thursday to practice how to go about providing electronic learning. In addition to that, families, if you want copies of instructional materials because you do not have access to technology, please pass by the school and the school will have instructional materials for your child. We want to make sure that learning continues in our school, and we want to make sure that high expectations are part of what we do on a daily basis. That's extremely important. With that, we'll open it up for some questions.
So I first wanted to ask about the case, the coronavirus case in the district. Was it a student or a faculty member? And do you know how, have we figured out how many people might have been exposed to this individual leading up to their confirmed case?
Sure. So it is a member of the learning community at one of our schools, and we will be notifying every individual that may have been impacted, and we will be reaching out to those that were in close contact with that individual.
Dr.
When you say
Casala,
learning community, are you not going to say if it was like a student or a teacher, like who exactly, do you know?
He was an adult.
It was an adult?
Mm-hmm.
now, Dr. Casada, the custodians are concerned with the safety and their health. You're going to rotate the staffing, but what about the custodians, those that work at the school that are in contact with the tables and floors? What's the plan for them?
So right now, we are working with the leadership of CSEA. We met with them for about 2 hours and a half this afternoon. We have systems in place, and once schools are closed, only essential personnel will be at work, and they will be called in by their leaders.
Thank you.
Can you give a little bit more detail about the virtual learning? Because I know you said that if families don't have technology like computers or such, they're going to take instructional materials home. Can you talk a little bit more detail about how that's going to work for families that don't have computer or access to laptops or anything like that?
Absolutely. So this past Friday was a superintendent's conference day. We worked collaboratively with the teachers union, and we were able to design lessons for all of our students, either hard copies or electronic lessons. Our teachers have been phenomenal designing electronic learning. They have already begun to communicate directly with their students. They have multiple platforms that they can use. We are very fortunate in our district. We have those platforms ready to go. In addition to that, in our site, in the Yonkers Public Schools site, we will have a link that will go live on Wednesday where parents can obtain instructional materials by grade level, by content. So on Wednesday, you'll be able to see that information, and our parents will be able to see it as well. But we have 14 days of instructional materials in those in that particular link of our website. Tomorrow, we will be working collaboratively with the leaders of the Yonkers Federation of Teachers so that we can also speak about other ways to maintain continuity for our students.
Dr.
About
Casada.
how many, I'm sorry. About how many students do you plan on feeding with the grab and go lunches during the prolonged? Do you have any?
We should be ready for about 5,000 students.
Every day?
And every single day.
Dr. Casada, those custodians that are cleaning the schools, is the Yonkers Public School providing them with gear to do the cleanup in a safe manner?
We are working on providing whatever we need to our custodial staff to ensure that cleaning takes place. Please
But-
understand that our schools were closed Friday, Saturday, and the majority of them were also closed today. From my understanding, the virus does not go beyond 24 hours in any surface. So we have closed our school for an extended period of time. So if the scientists are accurate, there should be no exposure to any of our buildings because no one has been in them since Friday.
I have another question, sorry. So I know that other school districts have spoke about concerns about schools being closed more than 180 days and how that will affect state aid. I know Yonkers has also, lobbied a lot to get greater state aid. Are you concerned about not meeting that threshold?
Well, I mean, the governor and the county executive issue an executive order that speaks to the 180 days. So I am hoping, and I will continue to advocate, working together with our state delegation to ensure that we are not affected by the 180 days rule. As you know, this is not something that we want to do. We don't want to close schools. So the last thing that we will expect is that we will be penalized for something that's not within our circle of control.
I wanted to ask you about the childcare that's going to be provided for healthcare workers. Is that something that's joint between the city and the school district? And how is that working? Do you already know which families have healthcare providers in them? Is it only limited to those families? What's the details of that?
So first, as indicated by the mayor prior, everything we are doing right now, and we have always done since the intermunicipal agreement, is in conjunction with the mayor and his staff. In addition to that, we have a phenomenal working relationship, so we speak about every decision that will be made. Today we will call the police commissioner to ensure that the sites where we will do grab and go breakfast and lunch will be monitored by Yonkers Police, and I'm certain that the mayor is fully supportive of that process. In terms of the child care, the expectation is that we will provide child care, either the county, the city, or the school district, to healthcare providers and to first responders. So we will begin the process of identifying who are those families that may benefit or who need it, so that we can provide it. And it is in collaboration with the city administration.
So when you say the city and the county are both doing this, does that mean there's going to be different locations around the county, and they'll just keep it? Would it be within a school building, do you think, or is it going to be at an actual child care center?
What we are trying to do as a district is to make it available in at least 3 of our schools as well. But I'm certain that the county is also working on providing additional support to the healthcare providers and to the first responders.
Would the people overseeing that be teachers, faculty? Who would be the people watching the kids?
So the Yonkers Public Schools is very fortunate. We have child care providers for after-school programs. So I have tasked Dr. Corey Reynolds, my assistant superintendent, who's right next to you, with working directly with the child care providers, and at least 2 of the institutions have already agreed to provide the services whenever we're ready to do so.
And do you know how long it would take for that to be implemented? I'm sorry.
I'm hoping that by Friday we're ready to go.
Now, Dr. Casada, there is a concern with the people from the CSEA about getting paid. While they are out, will they be paid?
All negotiations with CSEA will be private negotiations. We will continue to work collaboratively with them. As I said before, we met with them for about 2.5 hours today. We will continue those meetings as well as to how we will handle those individuals that will be impacted by this unfortunate closing of schools.
But I'll just get if you don't mind to add to that. Across the board, whether city side, because we've spoken about this, and the municipal side, we're thinking about people's salaries and short-term and the effects of how this is going to affect them. And we continue to talk to the governor about this. We continue to talk to our legislative leaders about this. As a matter of fact, we have conversations with Shelley Mayer about the 180. So there's a lot of conversations that are all still happening. But our goal, immediate goal, is to make sure that that our workforce is getting compensated. I mean, that's our goal. A lot of it will depend on how much money we have, but that's our goal.
Because this situation impacts people at many levels,
I completely understand that, and I get it. I know Dr. Quesada gets it, and so does Reverend Lopez.
Just overall, how prepared do you feel the district is for this prolonged closure?
Well, we were very fortunate. We started planning about 2 weeks ago. So we are in a good place. However, we depend on the collaboration of all of the stakeholders that are being impacted by the prolonged closing of schools. What is most important right now is that families have access to us. So I want the families to know that they can email me or any of the members of my team. I also want my students to know that they can also reach out to us. We will be here in central office. A small group of individuals will be here working because we don't want a large group of people in one building at the same time. But the building will be covered. We will be here. We'll be monitoring our emails very closely. I'm extremely concerned for my 8th and 12th graders. I want them to graduate. I want them to complete all of the requirements of graduation. So I'm asking my 8th and 12th graders to please stay in contact with us, to please ensure that they are communicating directly with their teachers, and to please ensure that they are doing the work that has been assigned to them while we are closed. As you know, we don't know if we need to close beyond the 31st. And that concerns me tremendously. And at the same time, our pre-K children, my team is working on packets of assignments for them. And I wish that I can teach them all and bring them all to a place, because our 4-year-old require additional instruction. We are ready to provide that instruction to them. But certainly I recognize how difficult it will be for our families, because not everyone knows how to teach some of the information that we have to teach to our students. So parents, please reach out to us. These are very frustrating times, and give us an opportunity to be in communication with you. And students, email us, give us a call, do your work that has been assigned to you. That's important, because we want to make sure that you graduate and that you are ready to take some Regents exams that we are hoping can be administered in June.
Doctor, if you allow me one more question, is there a possibility that maybe school breaks will be cut down in order to make up for the loss that we are going to have now?
That's a possibility. We will require additional guidance from the State Education Department. The State Education Department and the Governor will opine and will provide guidance related to that. So we will await for additional guidance related to that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? Good? Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.